The Food and Drug Administration is a federal agency of the United States Department of Health and Human Services, one of the United States federal executive departments. The FDA is responsible for protecting and promoting public health through the regulation and supervision of food safety, tobacco products, dietary supplements, prescription and over-the-counter pharmaceutical drugs, vaccines, biopharmaceuticals, blood transfusions, medical devices, electromagnetic radiation emitting devices, cosmetics, animal foods and feed and veterinary products. The FDA was empowered by the United States Congress to enforce the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which serves as the primary focus for the agency. The FDA also enforces other laws, notably Section 361 of the Public Health Service Act and associated regulations, many of which are not directly related to food or drugs. These include regulating lasers, cellular phones, condoms and control of disease on products ranging from certain household pets to sperm donation for assisted reproduction. The FDA is led by the Commissioner of Food and Drugs, appointed by the President with the advice and consent of the Senate. The Commissioner reports to the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The Dr. Stephen Ostroff is the current acting commissioner, who took over for Dr. Margaret Hamburg, who resigned in March 2015. The FDA has its headquarters in unincorporated White Oak, Maryland. The agency also has 223 field offices and 13 laboratories located throughout the 50 states, the United States Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. In 2008, the FDA began to post employees to foreign countries, including China, India, Costa Rica, Chile, Belgium, and the United Kingdom. Department of Health and Human Services, Food and Drug Administration, Office of the Commissioner, Office of Operations, Office of Equal Employment Opportunity, Office of Human Resources, Office of Finance, Budget and Acquisition, Office of Information Management and Technology, Office of Informatics and Technology Innovation, Director, Tahare, CASHAT, Office of Information Management, Office of Security Operations, Office of Facilities Engineering and Mission Support Services, Office of Policy, Planning, Legislation, and Analysis, Office of Medical Products and Tobacco, Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, Center for Devices and Radiological Health, Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, Center for Tobacco Products, Office of Foods and Veterinary Medicine, Center for Veterinary Medicine, Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, Office of Global Regulatory Operations and Policy, National Center for Toxicological Research, Office of Regulatory Affairs. Location. In recent years, the agency began undertaking a large-scale effort to consolidate its 25 operations in the Washington metropolitan area, moving from its main headquarters in Rockville and several fragmented office buildings to the former site of the Naval Ordnance Laboratory in the White Oak area of Silver Spring, Maryland. The site was renamed from the White Oak Naval Surface Warfare Center to the Federal Research Center at White Oak. The first building, the Life Sciences Laboratory, was dedicated and opened with 104 employees on the campus in December 2003. Only one original building from the naval facility was kept. All other buildings are new construction. The project is slated to be completed by 2017, assuming future congressional funding. Regional facilities. While most of the centers are located in the Washington, D.C. area as part of the headquarters divisions, two offices, the Office of Regulatory Affairs and the Office of Criminal Investigations, are primarily field offices with a workforce spread across the country. The Office of Regulatory Affairs is considered the eyes and ears of the agency, conducting the vast majority of the FDA's work in the field. Consumer safety officers, more commonly called investigators, are the individuals who inspect production and warehousing facilities, investigate complaints, illnesses, or outbreaks, and review documentation in the case of medical devices, drugs, biological products, and other items where it may be difficult to conduct a physical examination or take a physical sample of the product. The Office of Regulatory Affairs is divided into 5 regions, which are further divided into 20 districts. Districts are based roughly on the geographic divisions of the federal court system. Each district comprises a main district office and a number of resident posts, which are FDA remote offices that serve a particular geographic area. ERED also includes the agency network of regulatory laboratories, which analyze any physical samples taken. Though samples are usually food-related, some laboratories are equipped to analyze drugs, cosmetics, and radiation-emitting devices. The Office of Criminal Investigations was established in 1991 to investigate criminal cases. Unlike ERED investigators, OCI special agents are armed, and don't focus on technical aspects of the regulated industries. OCI agents pursue and develop cases where individuals and companies have committed criminal actions, such as fraudulent claims, or knowingly and willfully shipping known adulterated goods in interstate commerce. In many cases, OCI pursues cases involving Title 18 violations, in addition to prohibited acts as defined in Chapter 3 of the FD&C Act. OCI special agents often come from other criminal investigations backgrounds, and work closely with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Assistant Attorney General, and even Interpol. OCI receives cases from a variety of sources, including ERED, local agencies, and the FBI, and works with ERED investigators to help develop the technical and science-based aspects of a case. OCI is a smaller branch, comprising about 200 agents nationwide. The FDA frequently works with other federal agencies, including the Department of Agriculture, Drug Enforcement Administration, Customs and Border Protection, and Consumer Product Safety Commission. Often local and state government agencies also work with the FDA to provide regulatory inspections and enforcement action. Scope and funding. The FDA regulates more than $1 trillion worth of consumer goods, about 25% of consumer expenditures in the United States. This includes $466 billion in food sales, $275 billion in drugs, $60 billion in cosmetics, and $18 billion in vitamin supplements. Much of these expenditures are for goods imported into the United States. The FDA is responsible for monitoring imports. The FDA's federal budget request for fiscal year 2012 totaled $4.36 billion, while the proposed 2014 budget is $4.7 billion. About $2 billion of this budget is generated by user fees. Pharmaceutical firms pay the majority of these fees, which are used to expedite drug reviews. The FDA's federal budget request for fiscal year 2008 totaled $2.1 billion, a $105.8 million increase from what it received for fiscal year 2007. In February 2008, the FDA announced that the Bush administration's FY 2009 budget request for the agency was just under $2.4 billion. $1.77 billion in budget authority and $628 million in user fees. The requested budget authority was an increase of $50.7 million more than the FY 2008 funding, about a 3% increase. In June 2008, Congress gave the agency an emergency appropriation of $150 million for FY 2008 and another $150 million. Most federal laws concerning the FDA are part of the Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act, and are codified in Title 21, Chapter 9 of the United States Code. Other significant laws enforced by the FDA include the Public Health Service Act, parts of the Controlled Substances Act, the Federal Anti-Tampering Act, as well as many others. In many cases these responsibilities are shared with other federal agencies.